All right, Kevin, let's start with you. Should the Steelers try to get Brock Purdy?
No. Full stop. But I'll expand. No, I mean, I just don't think, first of all, I don't think this solves either team's problem. TJ Watt is your best player in Pittsburgh. I think that he has the most value there. San Francisco isn't going to want to pay huge money to another guy over 30. And then I don't think Brock Purdy is that big of an upgrade over some of the other guys that might be available. Aaron Rodgers can still give you something with less, not a $60 million mega contract behind it. For me, this doesn't make sense. I think both teams say no, Courtney.
Yeah. I just need to hear why. Do you guys have a quota for how many times you have to talk about Brock Purdy on Unsportsmanlike a day? I think the world needs to know that. Why was this specific example brought up?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Courtney. Okay, so let's connect dots for a second.
Yeah?
Adam Schefter comes on our show on Unsportsmanlike 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and says that the deal between Brock Purdy and the Niners will not get done as of right now before the draft. Okay? TJ Watt does the peace out Instagram post, which we're all going to read into. He makes $21 million this year. It's the final year of his deal. Okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers have been in QB purgatory for the last 3 years. They have done an awful job at finding a quarterback. And because Mike Tomlin is too good to get them bad enough to get great, meaning they will never finish with a top 5 pick in the draft to get a franchise quarterback, they are going to live in purgatory. You're giving me a look. Why the look?
Because, you put out a tweet this morning. It said, the 16th best quarterback in the NFL is more valuable than any great defensive player. No, he's not. What championship can you win with the 16th best quarterback in the NFL? Can you give me an example?
What
you can get to, maybe you can get to. And Brock Purdy,
he's way higher than 16.
Brock Purdy somewhere else is not the Brock Purdy that he was in San Francisco. I firmly believe that. He wouldn't have nearly as good of weapons around him. I think that that's a completely different style of offense.
You can apply that to anyone.
He'd be running with Arthur Smith versus with Kyle.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, I tried my best, but I just, oh my God. Oh my God. I saw this title and I was like, okay, I guess I'll do this. And it, okay. Wow. This is my last video of the night. I'm recording this Friday night. Guys, I get it. It's the off season. I get it. It's the off season. There's only so much to talk about. When you're making videos like this, John Middlecoff actually just talked about this. He's like, it's harder in the offseason than during the regular season because there's just nothing to talk about. So you're fighting to try to find content. John Middlecoff just keeps doing, mailbags, nonstop, just asking, just answering, questions from other subscribers and stuff. And ESPN the other day was like, Abdul Carter, will he make $40 million a year on a second contract? And it's just like, what are you talking about? He hasn't even been drafted yet. He hasn't played a single snap, and you're already talking about his second contract. What are you talking about? And now we're talking about trading Brock Purdy for TJ Watt, which fundamentally makes zero sense for so many different reasons, specifically for the 49ers. And then even when you're saying, oh, this doesn't make sense, the way how you even sculpt your argument is so insane. I just, that there's better options than Brock Purdy right now. And you bring up Aaron Rodgers. Okay, let's just say that Aaron Rodgers is a better option. Who else then is a better option? Who else are you saying is a better option than Brock Purdy? If we want to give, the mystique and the aura and just the actual talent that we've seen Aaron Rodgers have over the years, which is fair because he is Aaron Rodgers. We know that he is an all-time great special quarterback. So I understand that he's obviously not that same player, but I still understand having some belief in Aaron Rodgers. I get that. But this idea that Brock Purdy is just worth, a bag of sand at this point is just insane right now. And oh, Brock Purdy's not good unless he's with the 49ers with all those weapons. And it's well, what weapons has he had? Tell me, where are all these amazing weapons right now? Because he played last year. He didn't have great weapons. He still played pretty well, all things considering. Don't point to his record. His record was not his fault. Okay, they had the second worst defense in the NFL. Okay, he actually played pretty good considering his weapons were in and out of the lineup or just straight up gone for the entire year. And so you're going to act like Brock Purdy just then popped like nothing. And that's obviously not the case. Did Brock Purdy play out of his mind? Was he a top 2 quarterback last year? Of course he wasn't, but he had a bad offensive team in that regard. And then you want to say oh, Mike Tomlin's too good of a coach, so they'll never be at the bottom of the draft to be, at the top of the draft to be able to draft a quarterback. So then what is Shanahan as a coach? Are you going to just then get rid of Brock Purdy and then who's Shanahan going to draft? And you're going to put out Mac Jones there? Or you're going to try to sign Aaron Rodgers, I guess? I don't understand. And then TJ Watt is going to want money. And I think TJ Watt is an awesome player, but if you were going to trade Brock Purdy, if this was an unbelievable draft for quarterbacks, if this was the draft last year, essentially, right? And you have the options now of Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and you were thinking, hey, the 49ers have a high draft pick. They can draft one of these quarterbacks. They can move on from Brock Purdy. They can kind of hit the reset button a little bit here. They can get younger. They're getting rid of some of these older players that are a little bit more injury prone. They're moving on from Debo, et cetera, et cetera. When we get to kind of start this game over again, then I can understand. You move on from Brock Purdy, you get, you would get a decent haul, you would get TJ Watt, but you would probably want to be able to talk to him and say, hey, listen, we want you here, but we're kind of, not starting over. We're not doing a rebuild because we were essentially able to already draft a top quarterback and we already have some, decent weapons here, but we want to trade for you, but your next contract, we're not paying you, we're not breaking the bank here, Are you okay with that, right? Have that conversation. If not, then I don't want TJ Watt because why would I then want to draft, say, a Drake May and then get a quarterback, or then get an older defensive player who then is going to want top dollar when he's 32, 33. It doesn't. The contracts and the timelines of these players would not match at that point. At that point, you would just be give me more draft picks or give me some 23-year-old, 24-year-old, whatever it may be. So the trade really kind of no matter how you slice it, even if you want to go through some of these forced hypotheticals where you're well, could this make sense if they had more quarterbacks in the draft and this or that? It still would not necessarily really make sense at all. So, I'm just I see something like this and I'm just again, oh man, what are we doing? And to some degree, a lot of these takes exist just for us to criticize. And they know it, right? It's Stephen A. Smith himself knows it. It's just part of the sports ecosystem is just hey, let's just say a bunch of crazy stuff and part of the entertainment is just to have the fans and think, and it's not even rage bait or clickbait. It's just part of it is just getting people talking, whether it's just making fun of it, saying it's dumb, whatever it is, it's just part of it. But to try to pretend this should be a real conversation or that there's logical sense to this. Oh, well, because Adam Schefter said that they're not going to make a deal before after the draft. And, and then TJ Watt said peace sign. And it's just so what okay, what are we saying? I looked in the sky and I saw a star twinkle. Does that mean that an asteroid is coming for Earth right now? What are we saying here? What type of extreme, bizarre, absurd conclusions are we jumping to right now? I mean, it just makes no sense. The only way that there would be any type of weight behind this is if, like I said, we were in last year's draft and there was a collection of quarterbacks and Shanahan's yeah, man, I can win games. Give me Drake May, new rookie quarterback, new rookie deal. Let's do it. Let's start this party over again, Then I get it, but then I would move on from Christian McCaffrey, and you'd move on from you'd move on from everyone, and would really just do a true rebuild, reset the button, and then you would trust ownership, GM, Shanahan, etc. And then within 2 years, you'd be back to being a top powerhouse team, all on young, cheap deals, and so you would be let's do it. That's not the situation that the 49ers are in, and not to mention the 49ers have true belief in Brock Purdy. So the only other random wild card that I could see is if they really get aggressive, but they don't have a win now team in terms of if this was last year or the year before and Aaron Rodgers was available and they had already seen now Brock Purdy play in the couple years before, so we're really going hypothetical here, I could then see them being we can win a Super Bowl, we want Aaron Rodgers, let's get Aaron here. right? And we'll move on from Brock Purdy. We'll bring in TJ Watt. Like, we are win right now. I don't care what's happening 2 years from now. Like, we have a chance to finally get over this hump. Let's do it. Again, that I could see making logical sense. Where Aaron Rodgers is in his career right now, where the 49ers roster is right now, where Brock Purdy is right now, it just doesn't make sense. And you want to talk about having like a top 16 quarterback being more important than some of these other players, than that woman, I don't know who she is, saying, oh, well, name the quarterback that you can win that's top 16 or this or that. Like, I'm not even going to get into that song and dance right now, but let's stop pretending like you can just casually find a quarterback as good as Brock Purdy. No matter how good your roster is, stop pretending that any quarterback can lead a team to multiple conference championships and leave the field leading in a Super Bowl. Okay, because that list is incredibly, incredibly small. So stop pretending like that's just a casual thing that any old quarterback can do, because that has consistently been proven not to be the case. So, oh man, I am. What a way to end the night of recording, because this is just. I don't even know. I mean, like, and I can see in the description, it's like, first take, Damian Woody, Kevin Clark, and Courtney Cronin to discuss Deshaun Watson's injury recovery and debate if the Niners should trade Brock Purdy. Like, that's the conversation. First off, who cares about Deshaun Watson's injury recovery? Does anyone care? I'm pretty sure no. I don't even think Deshaun Watson's parents care. And then we're going to talk about, should the Niners trade Brock Purdy? What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Should the 49ers trade Brock Purdy for TJ Watt? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.